Welcome back everybody, and today we are reacting to, this is a first, a movie soundtrack on this channel. I've been reacting to a lot of artists that have been releasing music, singles, music videos, but it is the first time that I'm reacting to an actual movie soundtrack. And this one, kind of special. As you may know from the title, it is the soundtrack for the movie Barbie, and it features so many artists that I listen to on a day-to-day basis. I'm really excited to get into it. It has Lizzo, Lipa, Nicki Minaj, Ice Spice, Charli XCX, Sam Smith, Billie Eillish, Laroi, Khalid, Ava Max, basically so many different artists that I personally listen to, so I'm really excited to get into it. And before we even start, there is only one track that I've heard so far, even though I think there has been many singles that have been released. The song is Dance the Night by Lipa, so basically I'll be rediscovering it with you guys. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Oh my god, I'm definitely already getting like Lionel Richie vibes, like throwback 70s, kind of pop R&B-ish. I didn't expect Lizzo to be on a track like that. I thought it'd be a little more like intense, upbeat, but this is a different side of her. I like it. Oh,
beautiful from head to toe. I'm ready to go. You know what you wearing? Dress or suit?
well.
Hey, that power looks so good on you. Hey, round and round and round and round and in pink goes with everything. Oh yeah, beautiful from head to toe. I'm ready to go. K, cool.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Like I said, I didn't expect the album to start that way. I didn't expect Lizzo to be on that type of track, but honestly, it sounds really, really good. Like, I'm surprised at how good that sounded, especially for a movie soundtrack, because it is different than an album. It's less personal. They have to be a lot more maybe logical about their approach to make sure that their song fits in the movie, and they're given like a brief of when their song is being used, if it is in the movie per se. Honestly, I really liked it, and I'm kind of curious because I know that Mark Ronson was the person behind the production of the song with Dua Lipa, but I wonder if he did the whole album. And if he did, I mean, Mark Ronson, Valerie by Amy Winehouse, Uptown Funk with Bruno Mars, a lot of the Joanne album with Lady Gaga. Like, he's an incredible dude, very talented. Let me look it up real quick. Ooh, okay, this is rare that it happens. On Wikipedia, they actually split the lyrics from the music, as opposed to usually nowadays, it's just writer and it combines the two and it doesn't specify who worked on what. I like that detail because it allows more context. Yeah, Mark Ronson did work on that track. And he did work on a couple of them. Okay, there's a lot of collaborators on this album, which is normal. Cool, good to know. Woo! Yeah. Honestly, it was kind of funny to, well, I mean, not literally funny, but to me, ironic. I've been hearing for many, many months that Dua Lipa is departing from that disco era for her next project or album. I, was kind of mentally getting ready for a different sound. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect. And then this is being announced as a single that's coming out, and I hear it and it's like 100% matching with her last album, Future Nostalgia. I was like, oh, okay, whoa. I expected something else. I didn't expect that. Good thing that they reached out, because as a lead single from that project to advertise for the movie, it was a brilliant choice. It is catchy. I think it is climbing up the charts. I mean, the radio charts. Like, it was obviously doing well on streaming, but radio is obviously a different world with different results, and usually speaks to songs that have maybe a bit more longevity rather than like quick little single and hits that kind of fade out after a bit. Just to say that it was super well done, and Mark Ronson did an amazing production with it, and yeah.
And I'm bad like the Barbie. I'm a doll, but I still wanna party. Yelling out, we ain't selling out. We got money, but we ain't lending out. We told Tame, bring the Bob Dylan out. So cold, we just chilling out. Look where it led. Now I'ma put it to bed. She a Barbie bitch with her Barbie click. I keep dragging her so she bald.
Damn.
All of the Barbies is bad, it girls, and we ain't playing tag.
That is definitely the fastest song I've ever listened to. And, well, not necessarily fast in terms of tempo, but let me correct my statement. Okay, fine. This was the shortest song I've ever listened to. Like 150, and it's not even like, it's not an interlude. It's an actual full song and has actual like verses and whatnot. Also, the flow is really, really good. That being said, honestly, I think it was a no-brainer to get Nicki on there for sure. And then Ice Spice, I really like her flow. I really like her style. There's something soothing about her voice when she raps. It's like so chill. It's really cool. I like it. And together they really had a great chemistry and kind of bounced off each other on a few lines here and there, which was cool. I definitely see that song as like part of the movie where like something kind of a little intense happens. I don't know, somebody like sets them up for something or prepares like a trap or I don't know, something like that. Because of the beat, and it's kind of it's a little darker take as opposed to the two previous songs, which were a lot more dance and fun. But definitely we're getting into a part of the album I think that's gonna be a lot more intense and upbeat, because next up we have Charli XCX, which I've heard a little bit the song, like snippets of it, but I haven't heard the whole thing yet. We're jumping into it right now. Another short one too, huh?
She my best friend in the whole world.
Wait a minute. Wait, that's definitely a sample of the song Hey, I forgot what it's the name of somebody. Oh yeah, Hey Mickey, I think it's called. Hey Mickey, you're so fine, you're so fine. No, 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 no. Hey Mickey. Don't remember 100% of it. It's definitely either an interpolation or a sample of, yeah, definitely, well, something like that. I still have to figure out the difference between interpolation and sample. Homework for another day. Okay, definitely 100% Charli XCX. I mean, right up her alley. Exactly what I would have expected from her. A very short song too, 1 minute 58, 8 seconds longer technically than the previous one, but they still happen to be the shortest I've ever seen. Also, kind of goes with the tempo. It's a really fast like track. I kind of got a slight neck ache from headbanging a little too quickly, but I'll be fine. I'll be fine. The song is called Speed Drive and it sounds like a race. It really sounds like a race in Tokyo or something very like materialistic. And that hyperpop, it's perfect. It just makes plenty of sense. Woo! I didn't expect a Latin track like that to be on the album, but I think that it fits well. I'm just gonna translate the lyrics real quick because I only understand like not even half of them. Okay, that's, I mean, I kind of really had understood like the brunt of it being this girl is killing it type of vibe. Yeah, okay. I had pretty much gotten the whole gist of it. It's a fun track. I think it is only the second time of my life that I hear Karol G. I think the only time was that song that she has with Nicki Minaj. I'm curious as to how it fits in a movie though. I have no idea what type of scene that would be in. Oh, I think they kind of end up in real life. So maybe as they enter the city, like whatever city they landed in, because it's such a contrast to the other songs. It's a lot more street than it would be polished, I think, as a vibe. Yeah, I feel like that would be the scenario in which that song plays.
This one is for the boys with your greased up and heavy metal toys. 6-pack and tight G-string. No, I'm not gay, bro, but
Whoa, I didn't expect that. Hold on. Oh my god, I like Sam Smith and his humor. Wait a minute. See, I'm the groove catcher, hottest thing, 6-pack, tight G-string. No, I'm not gay, bro. Damn. I love the vibe of the song. The production is insane, once again.
'cause that's the man. It's time you realize that in
This song is the least movie soundtrack song that I've ever listened to. This does not feel like it's on a movie soundtrack album. It really feels like it's on a personal project, even though there are references to Barbie and Ken in the song. Honestly, production is insane. Everything. I'm not gonna go through a whole list. Everything is perfect on that one. I pleasantly am surprised, and as opposed to many of the movie soundtracks that I'm not inclined to go back to listen, this is definitely like one that so far there are tracks that I definitely want to go back to. But so far, like, I'm very impressed as to how like high quality it is for a soundtrack. Interesting. It was kind of nice to go back into like a late 80s, early 90s throwback type of song like that. It really felt like it was a song from that time. It doesn't feel like a modern song at all, but also doesn't feel like it's irrelevant. It's a major throwback type of energy. Now I'm realizing, definitely from the way it's called, The Journey to the Real World, that this is probably the scene that they actually transitioned into the real world. So I'm assuming that Man I Am is not then in that case. Or I mean, Watati, I'm assuming that Watati in that case is not necessarily when they arrive in the real world. But that being said, now I'm getting a little more of a timeline sense in the album, and I think it's not written, but I consider this much more of an interlude than an actual track. Otherwise, now this is the shortest song that I've ever listened to. 1 minute 28. Now we have a song by Ryan Gosling, which I know he's done musicals before, but didn't expect him to have a whole song.
Always number two.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. Anywhere else I be take. Where I see love, she sees a friend.
Whoa. What? It just went from 80s rock to like 90s electropop. Oh, Kenergy! That's what I've been hearing in the interviews online.
I'm just kidding. Anywhere else I'd be taken. And I'm enough. And I'm great at doing stuff.
Okay, I got plenty of things to say at the same time. One, it's like a mix of so many different genres. It felt at some point like a Paul McCartney 70s, 80s song, and then it went to like a rock type of like Poison inspired, like a lot of the 80s rock, and then it goes into this like electropop that's late 80s, early 90s, and which I thought it was like going to stay there, but then it goes back. Also, is he gonna sing the actual song in the movie? Like, is he lip singing to it, or is that just like a song that he made on the side as a soundtrack? Like, I have so many questions, but honestly I'm really surprised because it sounded like a legit song from the 80s. Like the parts of it, like it sounded like true songs that would have been on the radio at the time. So I'm kind of baffled as to high quality, but also so confusing it is. But I mean, props to Ryan Gosling and the people who produced that track.
Hey blondie, there's a million eyes on you. Do you ever get curious? Oh, hey blondie.
It's giving me major like Jack Johnson vibes.
Do you ever get weak like Monday morning, baby girl?
Yeah, Jack Johnson.
There's a million eyes on you. There's a million eyes on you.
That's a cute little song. I like it. It's kind of a laid back vibe, like exploring in the city type of energy, just adventuring. Definitely it seemed like a moment where she's grasping all of the attention from everybody because she stands out and she's different than most.
You think you know about me? Well,
Before we go any further, I might be crucified. This is the first time I'm ever listening to Haim. Yeah, I hear you guys. I know. It's kind of shameful. I agree. Despicable, probably. Might have to get into them eventually. Yeah, that's see, the thing is, this is a movie soundtrack. If I like them from that, chances are I'm gonna like them after. So
When everything felt so wrong, it led me to where I belong. Home is a symphony and it's bittersweet when it's calling me. I know. Just take me home.
well. I don't know if all of their music is like this, but if it is, I need to catch up. I need to make up for my sins. I need to explore their discography. Also, I hear a lot of similarities with the other Blondie they tend to hang out with. You probably know what I mean. But interesting, it's actually surprisingly right up my alley in terms of sound. Usually, I think that the fact that this is for a movie soundtrack makes it a little less relatable to me. So I'm like, I didn't 100% grasp onto it, but definitely got me curious to find out who they are in terms of artists. Noted. Now this one I was curious about.
I used to float, now I just fall down. Turns out I'm not real, just something you paid for. I don't know how to feel. When did it end? All the enjoyment. Someday I'm something I'm made for.
I actually forgot that I was listening to a movie soundtrack. I actually forgot. This song is honestly so beautiful and beautifully written. I don't want to hear you. I'm surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised. It is Billie Eilish and she worked with her brother on the production, but the vocals are incredibly beautiful and the writing of it is so purposeful and not like, it applies to a lot more than just Barbie as a concept. There's also the element of like stardom and like being a celebrity and like what was I made for, like what did I become of myself. Wow, I'm actually kind of impressed. I'm really impressed. It really didn't sound like a song from a movie soundtrack.
Used to be the one that you wait on. You keep on fighting through your fears, your demons holding back your tears. I see it. I won't let you go. I'ma be there. This will never end. I'll always be there when it all falls down and no one is around till my breath runs out.
This is more like the okay type of songs on the soundtrack, the ones that you might forget about after listening to the album. It was nice. It's probably for a little bit more of a chill moment in the movie. It fit the album. It did. I'm very curious as to like when it is in the movie, what scene it is, and I guess I'll figure that out when I actually go see it.
If you took a look over your shoulder,
Woo!
nah, but you give me a wave. If I could pick you up, we'd be in Malibu, speed it. Through the world. If I was woo! Give you the world on a silver platter, wouldn't even matter.
It's kind of giving me like Mariah Carey 90s vibes, R&B vibes. It's a fun, chill song that I definitely am enjoying and I probably will go back to. I hadn't listened to Khalid in a minute and this reminds me why I like him as an artist. It's just a fun little, like free to fun time, free-spirited. That's what I meant to say, which I think is one of the titles of his albums. That was fun to listen to. I liked it.
Jenny, my baby's hands, they grip my fingers when they're cold. Everyone told me life was hard, but it's a piece of cake. Jenny, my baby, did it always have to end this way? One day my baby just ran away.
It's like mixing two genres together, like definitely hyperpop and early 2000s pop that was very guitar based at the time. I'm a little at a loss for words. And now like Celtic strings? Like violin? What?
Everyone told me life was hard, but it's a piece of cake.
What? What? And it's so sharp. Like, oh my god, what was that?
Oh my god, what is that?
I mean, and actually not that bad of a way because I actually kind of enjoyed it, oddly enough. But what? I'm very confused. That was interesting. I almost felt like dancing a jig. Little, like let's bring out my tap shoes and we'll tap dance until wee hours of the morning. Whoa, okay. Oh, interesting sample.
Hello?
I have no idea how that fits in a movie. That was intense. Wild. But also interesting sample, I think from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Might be wrong, but I think it is. Interesting. Now we have Choose Your Fighter. Like, what in the Mortal Kombat is happening here? I thought this was a fun movie, lights, not like a death involving situation here. Like, why are you choosing your fighter? The wrong franchise, wrong IP, different IP.
You can be a lover or a fighter, whatever you desire. Confusing, no walk in the park. If you wanna go 6-inch flat, wanna wear hot pink or black. You can be a lover or a fighter, whatever you desire.
Definitely has that arcade feel, like almost Dance Dance Revolution, like literally next to the machine of Mortal Kombat at the arcades, kind of like those two machines made a song together. But it definitely sounds like it fits in the Sonic theme of her last album that just came out at the beginning of the year.
A pretty nine of shining diamonds, a beauty queen. If you wanna break out of the box, wanna call all of the shots. If you wanna be sweet or be soft, whatever you want, baby, choose your fighter.
I mean, it definitely sounds like an Eva Max track. I really am not sure how it fits in a movie, but also it doesn't sound, once again, so much like a movie soundtrack. But also, like, if you look at the lyrics, then it probably does make sense with the movie. Like, Choose Your Fighter is like customizing yourself to be able to face whatever situation you're in. Interesting track. Interesting.
When I close my eyes, it's a fantasy. Perfect plastic life from a magazine.
Wait, I know that sample. Everywhere I go, every smile I... Oh my god, it's a Janet Jackson sample! No way! Dancing in moonlight, I know you are free, shining down on me. I forgot how it's called, I forgot the title of the song, but it's a Janet Jackson sample. Interesting, and I'm assuming 50/50 is a K-pop girl group? It is. It is. Oh, isn't that the yes, that is the group that had the very the TikTok trending song Cupid. It was a trending song on TikTok. I don't think it was as popular in the States. It must have been more like Europe and Asia, but I remember seeing a video about them and explaining how their song became a hit almost accidentally.
Can't see the drama under my sequin sky, pink prima donna, rhinestone rover, hopping toaster.
Hey.
Number one, I feel important. I got flavors,
This is a lot more what I expected from the soundtrack. I thought it was going to be a lot more like mainstream pop-ish, definitely be more like, you know, something more of a what we typically hear from movie soundtracks. I mean, that sample, that Janet Jackson sample just really made the track to me. Like, I haven't heard any Janet samples ever, I don't think, in the past. So, I mean, she's an incredible performer and I like her discography. So thankfully, people thought about including it. But yeah, okay, that was interesting, and that's a nice way to wrap up this project. I mean, overall, the project is really, really good. It really, like, I must have said it so many different times, but it sounded less like a movie soundtrack and more like a compilation album of hits. I wouldn't take it as one project from an artist. I would definitely see it this as like, oh, we're taking all the best from different people and putting it together, because sonically, it just went all over the place. We had so many different like styles and genres that I was surprised at many different moments of what direction we were heading to. But otherwise, I really had a great experience listening to the album, and that was, I mean, as far as movie soundtracks go, definitely one of the best, if not the best. And that is non-musical movies, because the musicals, you know, the musical movies that we have the actual soundtrack of what they sing in the movie, that's a different category to me. But as far as a pop commercial soundtrack to accompany a movie, that I'm fairly surprised at how good it was. Welcome back, and I look different because I'm not recording on the same day, but I ended up going to see the Barbie movie the following day that I recorded my reaction to the album. I hadn't even planned, but it just happened that way. And yes, I'm still wearing pink, so still in the theme of the movie. I just wanted to come back and talk about the tracks a little bit and how they were placed in the movie now that I've seen it. And there are some super interesting elements about it that I wanted to share. I'm warning you guys, this little part of the video does have spoilers, so I'm suggesting, if you don't want to be spoiled, that you skip to the end of the video. I'll put a timestamp in the description below so that you can skip to the ending of the video. But I just wanted to come back and like talk about the tracks a little bit. Now, my assumption, however, of like the songs being in order was completely wrong, because some songs were not even used in the movie and some of them weren't even used in the movie. I don't think I heard Silver Platter in the movie by Khalid or Butterflies by GAYLE. Out of all the tracks that were used in the album, there was Pink by Lizzo. The way that Pink was used by Lizzo was amazing as the opener of the album. I honestly thought it was super brilliant, and I really want the version that's kind of really dark. There's like, the version on the album sounds really like positive and fun and pink, but in the storyline there's a second version of it that actually is like a lot more darker and like when things go wrong, and I would want to see that. Like, I'd be curious to hear that as a track. Dance the Night by Dua Lipa. Barbie World, I think, was used in the credits. Speed Drive by Charli XCX was used. Watati was used by Karol G. I actually was right about Watati being when they land on the beach in California. I was kind of happy about that. It is the song that's being used as they kind of explore the beach for the first time and they discover the real world. So that was a fun thing that I kind of remembered when I was watching the movie, and I was like, I was right. There was Men I Am by Sam Smith that was used as you know, at one of the great moments when they kind of go back into the Barbie world and the Ken have taken over. I'm Just a Ken, actually performed by Ryan Gosling. Home by Haim, I think, was used. What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish, one of the most powerful scenes of the movie, to be honest. And it was a lot of emotions to process. It was something. And Choose Your Fighter by Ava Max, which was actually used in a chase scene. So I didn't expect that. And it was like earlier on, whereas in the album, the soundtrack, it's like second to last in order. But honestly, I just want to go on record and say that it was an incredible movie, and I was surprised at how much depth it had and how much meaning it held for a lot of people, especially women and people that grew up with the, you know, playing around with Barbies. I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction video to this album. Here is my ranking of the songs of the album from top to bottom. I'm curious to see like which artists did you like from the album that are present, or which artists should have been there? Because I have a few names that could have been really cool additions to the album, but unfortunately I guess they didn't make it. I don't know if they ever they were contacted or whatever. So leave your thoughts in the comments, like the video, subscribe, do everything that you know you have to do. And otherwise I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Now, if you made it this far in the video, congratulations, you're really patient and wanted to consume everything that I put out. And I just wanted to take a minute to talk about the movie and the meaning. And long story short, after I saw the movie and I came back home, I was on TikTok and I kept scrolling and I ended up on like this Barbie feed of just like constantly getting videos decoding all of the layers of the movie and the meaning that I had for different groups of people, including a video that was referring to Alan, which was one of the first male Barbies that was created, that was completely in the movie put aside, to which I personally related a lot. The way that the TikTok was talking about it was saying that Alan is like amongst all the girls and always cast aside, and it's kind of a parallel with a lot of like guys who have female friends, mostly because they're non-heterosexual and they kind of bond with them a lot more. But the direct comparison was the example of waiting outside the bathroom for the girls to finish and you're like the only guy outside waiting for them. And it kind of is a scenario that I've lived a lot, whether literally or metaphorically, with friends of mine and just in general in life. Kind of this idea of being the other one, the external party, the add-on to a social construct. And that just psychologically wrecked me for the last 24 hours because I can't stop thinking about the movie and the soundtrack and the meaning of it. It was so frustrating to see the comments from a lot of guys saying like they found the movie boring, it was like kind of superficial for them, or they didn't understand what it was about, or like it was so dramatic, or even worse, I've heard like political commentators and some TV personalities, men, talking about the fact that it's like an assault on men on the Ken Barbie, and how the movie is just like mocking men, to which they clearly didn't understand the point. They've clearly never been in the shoes of being the other party, whether it's being a woman or like being socially excluded for some reason or another. They really, really don't understand the point because they've never lived it. They've never lived that struggle, and it's really frustrating. It frustrates me to a certain extent because I relate to the movie. I can't even begin to fathom how it is to live with the pink tax, with the actual burden of carrying children, the wage gap, being catcalled on the street. Like, these are things that as men we don't live. Like, we just don't. And for you to assume that, not to assume that it's normal, because they just basically don't even acknowledge it as if it's part of the system. They just pretend it doesn't exist. Anyway, it was super frustrating to see those comments and to see the critics that say it's a kind of a okay movie and it's not that profound. Like, it just means that you completely missed it, because there's so many things that when you have lived those struggles you can relate to. The satire and the commentary in the movie was out of this world. There are so many moments that I went from laughing to like ouch. Yeah. People who don't understand what this movie is about clearly do not have to handle any of the social struggles of being in a group that is deemed secondhand. And it's frustrating, and it just proves that there is still a lot of work to do in the world to reach some form of equality. It is frustrating for my friends, my family, women in my life. And I just wanted to pop in and just talk about it. The movie is actually a great depiction or a great satire of that type of situation, and it is really frustrating to see people not understand it. If you have the opportunity to see the movie, I highly recommend it. There is a lot of deeper meaning to it, and have a great viewing.